Hey, good afternoon. Steve here, hanging out down here at the old Soggy Bottom farm. I fixed this machine yesterday. The old milling half here busted on me. It's one of these tabletop mill lathe combination machines. One of my newest subscribers made a comment, and he's interested in purchasing one of these machines, and he's in the process of evaluating it. And I wanted to give him a couple of tips. And if you ever want to buy one, I've owned this thing since 2005, and if I could look back and knew then what I know now, some of the things I would have looked for the day I bought this. One of the biggest problems I've run across is the fact that this model, I ain't picking on Smithy or this Midas 1220 LTD. It's the only one I got. It's the only one I can speak about. I wished I would have gotten a quick change gearbox for the feed rate on this cross slide. Something else I've dealt with over the years I wished I would have done better is it sure be nice to change the RPMs on this mill and this lathe without having to loosen and move belts between cuts. You know, you take a few cuts, rough cuts, and then you want to get a nice finish cut, and this machine, it's a little hard to do it with this machine. If you're just turning down some brake rotors or something, it ain't no big deal. But if you want to do some accurate work with one of these guys, you need to be able to, setting up a tool takes time. You want to reduce the amount of effort that's involved. It'll be more enjoyable if you could make it as fast as possible. On this guy right here, you have to go inside this enclosure. First thing you do is you loosen the motor and you move all these belts around between these pulleys, and then you have for the RPMs, and then you have to change these gears for the feed rates. So if you're going to purchase one of these, the faster you can do that stuff, the more you're going to enjoy doing the work. One more thing to give some thought to on these machines is this, the accuracy on this dial right here. They're on the cross slide. It depends on what you're going to do, right? If you want to do accurate work, give a considerable amount of thought into the, just how far is this movement? How far are you moving? If you need a groove or you want to bore a hole down repeatedly or just one time to, let's say, 100 thousandths of an inch, this dial becomes extremely important. And if you look at this one here, let me explain to you what this one means when you go from 10 to 11. I'll set this dial indicator up, and we're about to go from 10 to 11. Boy, the lighting is terrible. Hold on. So here, well, let me put this on 0. I think that's 0. Now if I move this thing down here on the old dial indicator, we're set at 0. So if I come up here and I move this thing one increment, let me see if I can, let me get a light, hold on. There, I got a flashlight setting up there. If that thing is setting on 0, and I go one increment, well, this guy's on 0. I go one increment on this quill milling, I want to drill a hole or bore something a certain depth, I go 1 increment. Just, eyeball, I've gone 44 thousandths of an inch. So when you decide or you're investigating these machines, this little dial here is critical if you expect to get any accuracy at all out of one of these machines. Repeatability. Otherwise, you got to put this dial indicator on there. I thought I was back on 0. And you got to use the dial indicator for the measurement, not the knob on the machine. This thing, I don't even pay attention to that. So if this is all you got, you're going to have trouble. So make sure that the indicator on your dials is accurate enough for the type of work you want to do. This one down here is 2 thousandths of an inch, and it's accurate. So yeah, make sure that these dials that they provide for you are going to be within the tolerances that you expect for the amount of type of work you're going to do. Something else that you ought to consider is the height from the center of the chuck to the bed of this lathe. If you want to turn some brake rotors or something, you're going to, most of them around 10, 11 inches, so you need to be like 6 inches above the bed. Otherwise, you won't be able to use your machine to do that, unless you mill with it. Then you're going to need a turntable. But the tooling, the adapters, all the equipment you need to use this machine actually end up costing you more than the machine does. See Bert's B&S F68. When you're buying one of these or investigating them, give that some thought. It might help you in the future. If you, if you're looking to do the same sort of stuff I do. I basically want to do it all myself. So I've got everything I need to do it all myself. When you made that decision and you're ready to start and you purchased your machine, let me know what size. There's a taper in the tailstock, there's a taper in the quill, and there's probably a taper in your spindle. It'll have some designation like MT3, MT4. Let me know what that is, and man, I can really help you get started with some tooling. The tooling costs a fortune. If you don't have the tooling, it's going to show up and you won't be able to do anything with it. I know when I was investigating it, most of them would come with some arbor like this that you could put in your spindle or put in your tailstock, and it would hold a tool with a 3/8 inch shank on it. But if you want to mill, run a fly cutter, do stuff like that, that arbor is going to be a bit of an issue for you. So once you get your machine, let me know what sort of holders that you're going to be getting with your brand new machine. I'll save you some money on the tooling. So once you've decided what machine to buy, get a hold of me and let me know the holders. I got a bucket full of tooling here. This is where you're going to spend your money. Man, inside this bucket there's a plethora of goodies in here. Man, Steve, you should have taken some of this out of here sooner. Old Sterrett would be mad at me. But anyways, here's a 3/8 end mill. It's yours if you end up with a 3/8 inch collet. I'll send it to you for free. I'll pay for everything. My kids are going to throw this in the trash if I don't get rid of it. They don't know what it is. It's made by Morse, 1/4 inch. There's a 1/2 inch one right here. I'll take care of your tooling expenses for you. I appreciate the comment. This is nice stuff here. There's nothing wrong with that. Here's a fly cutter. This stuff's just dirty. You know why. It's got a 1/2 inch shank. If you can't hold a 1/2 inch shank from day one, you ain't got, whatever reason you can't hold it, let me know. I'll turn it down for you. Or I'll send it to you and you turn it down. I'll send you the tooling you need to do it. I got some tool bits here. You're more than welcome to them. Let's see what else is in here. Here's a hunk of carbide. If you can grind a piece of carbide, you won't do it on a regular stone. Here's another one. Piece of high-speed steel. Let me know what you need, what your machine's going to come with, so that when you get it, you can use it. Save you a little bit of money and, help me out. I got to get rid of this stuff, and I know somewhere in here is a piece of high-speed steel. We can stick it in these fly cutters. There's another fly cutter. And, man, you get going from day one the minute you get the machine. There's boring bars in here. These are the kind you use when you're learning. There's another one. But you probably can't hold that with the stuff they're going to give you. You got to spend a lot of money to use this stuff. You need collets to hold a tool like that, and you're not going to. Well, I don't know. I don't think you'll get I didn't get collets with the machine I bought. But, yeah, here's a spot drill. Another end mill. I got the things I need, and they're not in this bucket. This bucket is just extra stuff. Nothing wrong with this. If you want some of it, let me know. And, man, I can really help you get going. Here's some more high-speed steel. This is okay stuff, You can make a turning tool out of it today and a threading tool tomorrow, and turn it into a grooving tool. You can do whatever you want to with it. There's all kinds of stuff in this box. Now let me see if I can find a piece if you're interested in a fly cutter. I know it's in here. Give me a second. Get all this stuff out of the way. There's man, what is that? Here you go. Man, that's a nice looking piece of steel there. That's high speed steel, made in Spain. 5% cobalt, brand spanking new. Cutoff tool. You can hold it, you can part your tools off. Saws. You'd have to make your own arbor, but there's saws there. If you need some T-nuts, make your own T-nuts. If you got the tooling, right? You need an end mill if you're going to make these things. I'll help you out. Here's a piece of high-speed steel right here. Turn this shank down. Put him inside that dude right there. I'm going to loosen the screws up and get him all the way in. Put him in here. There you go, fly cutter. Stuff ain't junk, it's just I don't need it. Here's another end mill. Let me know what you need. I'd sure like to. Here's a piece of 5/8 by 3/4 inch purple label extra. High speed steel. Man, let me know what kind of tooling you need. I'll send this stuff to you. Want some parallels? There's a plethora of stuff in this old bucket. Here's another piece of high-speed steel. This is Super MO Max Cobalt. That's a big chunk right there. I don't know how big your machine's going to be. It might not even be able to take a hunk of that. Might send you one of these little drill chucks. Let's see what else. They need some vernier calipers. Craftsman, do a little measuring. Some micrometers in here. You know, I'll wipe the stuff off them. But you can't do nothing if you can't cut the metal. Man, I remember the tooling was so expensive. I would buy lots of tooling on eBay. 2005. I don't even know if Morse, whoever they are. But it's yours if you want it, buddy. Sure like to give it to you. You'd be doing me a favor. Thanks for the comment. And let me know. I'll help you out as much as I can so that you can enjoy your little lathe as much as I have mine. Alright, I'm out.